Hey, it's me, Raika. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Draconis hero, Melion, Warden of Order. Now, this hero wears cloth-based gear, is part of the support class, and his primary role is to provide a significant amount of buffs for one Draconis hero on your formation, buff other allies as well, and provide a significant amount of control for the enemy heroes. So let's have a look at his abilities. His ultimate skill, Precepts Prevail. Melion summons light walls that push enemies caught between them to the center. Enemies caught between the walls are pushed to the center. When the walls shatter, they deal dragon speak damage to the enemies, stunning the enemies for 3 seconds and reducing their movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. Melion is immune to control effects while casting this skill. So what this is 2 little light walls that will appear either in the enemy half or in the allied half, depending on where Melion is facing. He'll group all the enemies together on one central location. The level 2 upgrade. If Melion's Exemplar, this Exemplar is the Draconis hero that is chosen by Melion, is alive, the light walls push enemies towards their position. Level 3. If the skill Restraining Discipline is unlocked, an additional ceiling array appears when the walls shatter. So this is extra additional control that is given to your teammates as well. His next ability over here, Precept Power, which is a passive and an active component. Every time Melion casts a spell, he accumulates Precept Power. Basic attack 2 points, Restraining Discipline 4 points, Precepts Prevail 6 points, Exemplary Conduct 10 points. Precept Power is capped at 100 points. So as we can see, any of these abilities that he uses, he will gain points up until he gains 100 points. When Melion's skills inflict control effects on enemies, every 1 point of Precept increases the duration of the control effect by 0.5 seconds. So this includes his ultimate, which is 3 seconds. This includes any of his other abilities, which extends that duration even longer. So at 100 Precept Power points, this can increase the stun duration or the control duration by 50%. So if it's 3 seconds, it will become 4.5 seconds. So this is a massive buff to how long his control lasts. The level 2, Precept Power gain from normal attacks is increased from 2 to 3. Level 3, Precept Power gained from Restraining Discipline is increased from 4 to 6. And level 4, Precept Power gained from Precepts Prevail is increased from 6 to 9 points. His next ability, Restraining Discipline. Melion activates a rune to cast light magic, targeting the enemy with the highest damage. This attack deals damage to them and nearby enemies. This will additionally immobilize them for 3 seconds, and also this extra effect will create a sealing array that prevents enemies within it from using the ultimate for 5 seconds. The level 2, the damage is increased from 230 to 290. The level 3, as Melion's Precept Power increases, it extends the duration of sealing array. So this is that buff over here. So that 5 seconds will become 7.5 seconds, and 3 seconds will become 4.5 seconds. So this is a massive amount of duration that he'll either be cancelling the enemy's ultimate or immobilizing the enemies for a significant period of time. Level 30 Engravings. Enemies caught in 2 seeding arrays at once are prevented from healing, and those in 3 arrays cannot recover energy. So the more enemies are stacked together, the more debuffs will be applied to them. His next ability, Exemplary Conduct. At the start of battle, Melion selects the Draconis hero amongst his allies with the highest initial attack rating, excluding himself, as his Exemplar, boosting the attack speed by 36 points, crit rating by 36 points, dragon speed amplification by 36 points. While casting this skill, Melion is immune to control effects. The level 2, if Melion dies, the Exemplar's buff remains active for 6 seconds. The level 3, this duration is increased from 6 to 12. how long the buffs are active, and the 60 engravings. When an exemplar deals damage, the closer they and the enemy are to being in the same row, the more damage is dealt, up to 60% increased damage. So if you place the Draconis hero in the middle of your formation and they get buffed by exemplary conduct, then they'll deal 60% extra damage to all enemies struck within their range. So let's have a look at his signature item. Now, when you unlock Supreme Discipline, at the start of battle, Melion gains 3 energy for each point of initial insight he has. The level 10, this is further increased from 3 energy to 5 energy for each insight he has. The level 20, when Melion takes fatal damage, he consumes any available precept power to avoid death. For the next 1 second, he is immune to all damage and control effects and recovers 20% of his maximum health per second. Each point of precept power consumed extends the effect by 0.03 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once per battle. If he has maxed out his precept power, this can be extended by an extra 3 seconds of immunity, so from 1 all the way to 4 seconds of immunity, and the 30 unlock at the start of battle. Melion gains 0.5 precept power for each point of initial insight he has. And the 40 signature item, when Melion maxes out his precept power, his normal attack is replaced with the skill Restraining Discipline, which deals additional damage equal to 5% of the target's max health up to 400% of Melion's attack rating. So let's have a look at his furniture. So when you unlock the 3 out of 3 supervision support, when Melion or his exemplar deal normal attack damage, they inflict an additional 120% health loss based on their combined attack rating. This effect can be triggered up to 5 times every 1 second. And the 9 out of 9, when Melion or his exemplar applies a control effect, the target takes 36% more damage for 5 seconds. This increased damage from Melion and his exemplar is calculated separately. So those are all of his skills and abilities. So let's have a look at how he does in battle. Now, this hero is primarily a support-based hero where he will provide a significant amount of control and buffs for your allies. So you will not be able to gauge his damage or how effective his healing is, as he mainly is used for his control aspects in the game. So if you have a Draconis ally, this will greatly improve your effectiveness. So those were the 2 light walls that appeared on both edges of the battlefield, and they immediately pushed the enemies towards the center and were stunned for a couple of seconds. Now we can also see the ceiling arrays. This is this little circle on the ground which cancels the enemy ultimate. As we can see, it immobilizes them and they hit multiple times from these ceiling arrays. So this is that energy recovery removal and that health recovery removal from the enemy heroes. So let's have a look at how he does at a much higher level deficit. Alright, so this is a 200 level deficit from my team to the enemy heroes. And from this team over here, we can see that as soon as you place another Draconis hero, as we can see, this is Gwyneth over here, the Draconis hero, alongside Melion over here, her power is tremendously boosted because of Melion. So let's have a look at how she does. So as we can see, I've placed her in the back middle position. Now over here, we can see Melion buffing the Draconis hero with the same little buff that is around him, as well as his ally. And all the allies and enemies were grouped up together so that she can do massive damage to the enemy targets all at once. So what is the minimum investment that I would recommend into this allied hero? Now, I would highly recommend getting his 30 signature item, as this supercharges his effectiveness in battle. As we can see, he gets a lot of utility, cheat deaths, and extra energy recovery because of his signature item. In addition, this also makes him a bit more tanky and gives him additional survivability. I would also highly recommend getting his 9 out of 9 furniture, as this makes your allies deal, or your exemplar deal in this case, 36% more damage on top of the extra buff over here, where if you get his 60 engravings, this will allow your exemplar to deal 60% plus 36. This is 96% more damage is dealt to the enemy target. Now, the other buffs over here are mainly for his control based effects. Now, his 30 engravings, although it is mostly a utility option, does not give him extra benefits in the game. So I would highly recommend getting at least his 30 signature item, 9 furniture, and if you have enough engravings in order to push him all the way to 60 engravings,